Let's see, hold on. Light on or light off? Ooh. He just got a haircut, so he's looking a little bit more like a poodle. I'm talking about my fantasy TBR. I actually had a comment the other day that said, like, I love seeing your, something along the lines of, I love seeing your taste. It started out very fantasy heavy and now it's going towards more romance. But I would say I agree with that. My taste has shifted a lot towards less fantasy, more romance, and more contemporary. But I still would rather read fantasy romance. I like both of them together. It's just hard for me to find a fantasy romance that I don't think is too overdone. So today I'm going to tell you guys what is on my fantasy TBR. Let's get into it. The first book that I'm going to be talking about in this video is The Gilded Wolves, and I have been wanting to read this book for a little bit now. It is in here somewhere on my TBR shelf. This book is about a gang of characters who are kind of on a heist, and I love heist novels, and they kind of infiltrate different gangs and different secret societies to find specific artifacts. I don't know much more about that, and I don't really want to know more about that. If you know me, you know I like to be surprised going into a series. The only downside about this book that I've heard and about this series is that it's a little slow and depressing. That's what I've heard. That could just be a rumor, so I'm not quite sure. The Gilded Wolves is a trilogy. I know it's The Gilded Wolves, The Silver Serpents, and The Bronze Beast. You're gonna see Dobie's head pop in and out, I'm sorry. I do have it as an audiobook also, so I think I will listen and read at the same time. And I think I'm gonna read it in June some point. If you've read the series, let me know what your thoughts were on it. The next fantasy series that I really want to read is Rhapsodic. I've already read Rhapsodic. I literally hate pronouncing words. Don't just ignore me. That book, the Bargainer series, I plan to finish in the next few months. The second book is A Strange Hymn, and the third book is called Dark Harmony, I believe, and it's just a trilogy, I'm pretty sure, and I just want to finish reading it. The first book I actually didn't rate that high. I think I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I still really enjoyed it. It was kind of that trashy fae romance that I really liked. I thought that the first book was a little bit too fast-paced and the plot was a little scattered, but I'm giving the rest of the series a chance. The next book is Jade City, and I've talked about this in a previous video before, but I do just want to reiterate it here in case you haven't seen that video. This is a book about a family who, I'm pretty sure they're one of 2 families in a large city who kind of controlled the organized crime, and it's all centered around this one drug called Jade. This book I've just heard so many good things about from fellow booktubers, and I want to kind of be a part of the club. It's a little bit of FOMO. This is also one kind of like The Gilded Wolves, where I've heard you either really love it or you don't click with it, so I'm interested to see where I fall. But let me know if you've read it and if you like it. The next book is actually one of 6 books, and I'll tell you why I'm a little nervous to start this one, because the first book came out in 2020 and there's already been 6 books and it's 2022. I just don't know if Stacey Marie Brown, the author of the series, had the whole series planned out in her head or what, but she is pumping out these books like no other author I know. And that is Savage Lands by Stacey Marie Brown, and there are 6 books. And this is about Earth and Otherworld, which is where all of the Fae people live, and the rifts between the 2 worlds kind of breaks, and now there's a battle between the Fae and the humans, kind of taking on the story of the main character named Brexley. And all of a sudden, during this kind of Fae-human war going on, Brexley is thrown into this prison, and this prison is known to, once you go in, you never come out. And we're on her journey figuring out the Fae and what exactly they want. And yes, I'm a big fan of Fae, so I'm really looking forward to this book. Anything with Fae in it, I usually love. The next book I'm really intimidated by. Big books, I love reading once I get into them, but it's always starting them that scares me. The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I think I said that right. Our main character in this book doesn't really believe in magic or the magical world, but she herself does some questionable things that could be considered magical, like summoning a spirit, and she's kind of just running around the city doing her thing, doing her little side hustles here and there, and she ends up summoning the spirit and gets introduced into this magical world, and we're taken on a journey with her. I am really looking forward to a book like this. I really want to get introduced to more big world building and bigger cities and more political dynamics, and I think this book is a really good introduction. The next book is The Kiss of Deception by Mary Pearson, and this is about a girl named Leah who is supposed to have the gift of sight as the first daughter of her kingdom, but she doesn't have the sight. Her parents obviously know she doesn't have the sight, but they arrange a marriage with a prince anyway and kind of lie to the prince that she does have this magic power. And on her wedding day, she ends up running away. And on her voyage of running away, she settles in this small little village and runs into these two people, which happen to be the prince and an assassin who was sent to kill her. And we go from there. The next book is a part of a series. I feel like fantasy books often come in series, so sorry I keep repeating that. But the first book is Pestilence. The second book is War, the third book is Famine, and the fourth book is Death. And this is the Four Horsemen series. I've been wanting to read these for a really long time. Even though that they have naked men on the covers, I can look past it. These 4 books are about these 4 horsemen who come to Earth and have the power to destroy humanity itself. And Pestilence is the first man who ends up going to this small little town in search of a girl named Sarah Burns, and Sarah basically shoots him off of his horse. That is their first introduction together. And little does she know, he can't die, but this kind of sparks their relationship, and he is supposed to kill her, which is always spicy and fun. And because she shot him off his horse, he obviously is very pissed off. He takes her as prisoner, and the only way that she can save the world is obviously to take him down, but in the process I think they end up falling in love, and I'm pretty sure it's a very erotic romance fantasy book. So I'm pretty sure this one is more on the spicier side. That is it for this video. Sorry it was probably really short. I'm gonna edit this down a lot because I kind of rambled a little bit. So I'm gonna edit this down, but thank you for being here. And if I talked about one of your favorite books or you've read one of these books, please comment down below which one was your favorite or which one was your least favorite or what you liked about a certain book. Or if you have other recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next week.